Alright, I am doing a collab with my friend Cheryl from Cheryl's Country Home, and I will leave her link in the description. And it's basically 5 meals from 1 chicken. So this is my chicken. I purchased it for $7.88. Just hide the address. It's a pretty big, fairly big chicken. I don't know pound wise what it is, because I'm not sure about that, but and he's frozen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take him out of the package. In here, yesterday my mom made a turkey and she gave me the juices. I was going to make a gravy with it. I put it in the fridge and then it turned to jelly and some of it's fat. So I just put that in there. I'm going to add a little water, whisk that together just so that there's a little bit of liquid on the bottom. I'm going to put the chicken in my roasting pan, and I already preheated the oven to 250. I'm going to slow cook it all day. Now, I did think about putting it in my crock pot express, which I probably could do, and it might take only about an hour to do. Excuse me, but I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. So, I don't think so, because I already dirtied the roast pan, so I will try it another day though. So basically I just have a couple spices. I got some celery, like grounded up celery, there's some garlic, there's parsley, onion flakes, salt, pepper, there's a little bit of this barbecue sauce, Texas barbecue seasoning. I don't know if I'm going to use it or not. I'm just going to season up my chicken and cook it in the oven for a while until it's done. I'm not sure. If I notice around like 1 o'clock it's really not moving along, I'll put the time up. But so hopefully you guys stick around and see what kind of meals I get out of it. Obviously the first meal I'm going to get is a chicken dinner. I'm going to make probably a couple mashed potatoes to go with it, maybe, something like that, some corn. We'll see at supper time whatever I decide to do, so that will be my first meal. So there is the chicken all ready for the oven. Just going to put the top on and let it cook all day. Alright, so a quick little update on the chicken. It is now almost 2:30. I've been regularly coming and taking some of the juices and pouring it over the chicken. I did flip the chicken over so that it was breast down, and the meat will be a lot more tender that way. It looks like it's probably cooked. I'm going to just baste it one more time, check and see if it is cooked, and then I will shut the oven off and let it cool down a little bit, but not completely. And then I will debone it and all that while it's still warm, because it's a lot easier to do it that way. Okay, so the oven's turned off. The chicken was cooked. It's nice and tender, which is awesome. I'm going to get ready to debone it, and I'll show you guys, obviously, that while I do it. But here I have, yesterday my mom made a turkey, and she saved the drippings for me. And then today, all the drippings that were in the pan, I had added a little of it to this, and then I just mixed a little bit of cornstarch with water, and it thickened it up really nice, so I got a nice gravy out of it. Technically I could have did the same thing just with the chicken, so it's not really cheating. That's one of the things that I'm going to make out of the juices. There are still some juices on this chicken, which I will strain and put into, maybe I'll just make it and freeze the gravy, or I don't know, I'll see as I'm doing it. But another thing, this was the pan that my mom made the turkey in. I had it in my freezer all night, so that is what's left of the turkey. I'm going to cheat a little bit here, and now typically I could just take the bones from the chicken and make a stock with that, but if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it all at once. I'd still get a nice big pot of soup out of the chicken, but I'm just going to go ahead and once I debone the chicken, I'm going to put all the bones in here and just not even dirty another container. I'm going to fill that up with water. I've got some scraps in the freezer. I'm going to just throw that all in and let that simmer for a little while, and then I can put the broth in the freezer and I will use it at a later date. So that's what's going on. That's what this situation is. But like I said, even if my mom hadn't have made that turkey, I still would have been able to make gravy with the drippings from this chicken, and I'd still be able to make the stock from the bones from this chicken. So it's just kind of like a little more, I did it a little more advanced than had I waited for the chicken. So I'm going to go ahead, bring the chicken out, place it over here, and start deboning it. Alright, so I just bagged up the meals. Obviously, I'm going to have more than 5 because tonight we're having one meal. This is my plate, and then under here are 2 more portions for Jay and Riley. I'm going to have probably just some mac and cheese with mine, a little bit of gravy, and some yellow beans, and that's going to be my supper tonight, and then I can make them some rice or whatever they want to have. I'm going to show you guys what I have planned for the meals, and then I will do little clips every night when I make them. So this is meal number 1. I'll show you guys that in a second. I'm going to consider this another use from the chicken is going to be stock, because obviously I'd have enough to make a big pot or multiple little pots, so I don't exactly know how many I would get from that one chicken. Probably a nice big pot full though. So the broth is going to be number 2 on the list. And then I have 2 things for soup. Now they've got this big one here that's got quite a bit of meat in it. That's for a big bowl of pot of soup. And then this one here is sometimes Jay makes little pots of soup, so I just put some away if he wants to have some chicken in that. So I got 2 soups out of it. I put the meat away for our club sandwiches that we are going to have one night. I put some away for some fried rice. The fried rice will probably be left over as well, so that kind of is like 2 meals in one. I put some away for fajitas. And then I also put some away for quesadillas. So this, I mean, I could get all fancy with it and make different things, but this is just things that I know that the family likes. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 if you count the broth, and then 9 if you count the leftover fried rice. So, and then the fajitas too, there might even be some left. So between 9 and 10 meals I could get from that one chicken. So I don't think that's bad at all. Alright, I will plate my supper up and show you guys what it looks like. Alright, so there is meal number 1. Not too much green going on, but I think I'm going to take a couple celery sticks and add that to my plate, so at least there's a little bit of green on it. My chicken and my gravy, homemade mac and cheese, and some yellow beans. So that is meal number 1. And this is starting to simmer, so that's going to make a nice big pot of yummy broth. So there it is with the celery and piece of broccoli. Alright, so this is day 2 of the chicken, and this was the broth that I ended up with. I put it in the fridge last night, so it turned kind of jelly, so I have it on medium. It's going to warm up and turn to actual broth. And then over here, I decided that I'm going to add because it's such a big pot, and I don't want to make it so that it's just rice in it. I'm just going to add both of the things for the soup instead of having 2 different ones. So yesterday we had the chicken, the mac and cheese, and the veggies. That was the first meal. The broth, I'm including it because it was something that I made from the chicken, so that's number 2. I could make smaller pots with it, but I'm just going to go ahead and make a big one. So the third meal is going to be the soup that I make. I had some of my celery, so I cut that up into small little pieces. I'm going to do the same with the carrots, then I'm going to add a little bit of water to this and put it in the microwave just to soften up the veggies. I'm going to chop up the chicken into small pieces and put that in there, and then later on I will add the rice. So I'll show you guys what the soup looks like whenever it's done. Well, that's how full it is. I added the vegetables and that I tenderize, I guess, in the microwave. I added a little bit of cabbage, and I added an onion. So I brought it up almost to the top. I added my rice in here. Now I'm just going to let everything simmer together. There you go. Got a nice big bowl of soup. I added a little bit of salt and pepper to it, and it turned out really, really good. Simple, easy. There's rice, there's chicken, there's onions, there's carrots, there's celery, and cabbage. So I'm going to go eat this, and it's 11, so it's kind of like my breakfast lunch. And there's still a ton of it left. So there is tonight's supper. I made a club sandwich with the chicken, and then I just have some french fries and gravy, and I fried up some cabbage. So that is tonight's supper. So for my other chicken meal, I'm making fajitas tonight. I have some green pepper, red pepper, orange pepper, some celery, some chicken, onions, and mushrooms in here. So I'm just going to let that fry up, and I'll show you what it looks like whenever I got my plate ready. So I have not vlogged today, so I decided I'll pick up the camera and show you guys what I'm making for supper. It's part of a collab that I'm doing, which you guys will see in the next day or two. Oh, it smells so good. So basically, in the freezer the other day, you guys saw me prep some fajita and stir-fry mixes and stuff, and this is one of the fajitas. I ended up adding some celery, some mushrooms, and another onion, just because we like it like that, and the chicken. So I just have this cooking. There was maybe, I don't know, a quarter of a bag of like Sloppy Joe mix, which to me, Sloppy Joe, tacos, fajitas, it all smells like dirty armpits, so to me it's all the same. So I added whatever was left of that in there, and then I added some water and some soy sauce. I am going to be adding some Frank's to mine, just because that's what I like. My son does not like that, so I'm not going to add it until I make my own fajita up. These are the little wraps, they're only the tinier ones. I'm going to make us a couple for supper. I'm going to put a couple away for his lunch, and I got to go down and pick them up soon. We've been gone all day. Technically, we don't usually come home. We wait and pick up the kids, but he was done early, and I really didn't feel like waiting around for an hour because it's cold out, and instead of having the car sitting there running, I decided to come home. So, and that way their supper will be cooked when Riley gets home, and he can just eat. So there's plenty of veggies in there. I don't really got to worry about serving up any veggies with it. And yeah, not too much else is going on. Shredded some cheese, got some tomatoes, just all random stuff, but it's all going to be good. So that's that. Tonight we're supposed to get some freezing rain, so I'd say Lord knows if there'd be school, but the other day after the snowpocalypse, it was the only school around that didn't cancel, so. But we ended up keeping the kids home that day because it was just too crazy. Anyways, I'll be back in a little bit. So there are the fajitas. Just gonna warm them up in the microwave, and I have some iced tea that I made. Alright, tonight for supper I am going to make some fried rice with this bag of chicken. I'm going to chop the chicken up in here, and I could put a ton of vegetables, but I'm just going to go ahead and put an onion instead and fry that up. I got my rice there, I'll cook that. I'm going to put that in the rice cooker while I'm getting this ready, and I will show you my plate whenever it's done. So there is the chicken and onion, and I added 2 eggs, scrambled that all together. I should have put some mushrooms because mushrooms would have been really good, so I may do up just a little pan of mushrooms and then add it in later on. I will see. Just to add some extra veggies to the dish. And over here I have my rice in my rice cooker. Whenever that's done, I'm going to let it cool, and then at supper time I will mix it all together. Alright, so for supper tonight there is the fried rice. I didn't end up putting mushrooms in it, but that should be good enough. Alright, my last but not least meal that I made with all that chicken is, I'm going to make some quesadillas. So, I want to grate a little bit of cheese. I got my wraps here. These were what I used for the tortillas the other night. The rice we all ate, and then Riley had some for his lunch, so there was a little bit of leftover from that. And this is what's left of the chicken, and there's also, I think, 2 containers, because this today for lunch I had some soup, so there's 2 big containers of the soup left that I made with the chicken, so that is left over. In here, I know it's a little hard to see, but there's just basically onions and the rest of the chicken. I'm just gonna fry it up a little bit, not too much, just because I don't want my onions completely raw, because it takes like no time at all to cook in the George Foreman. So I'm just gonna basically put some cheese in here and my little chicken mixture, and then I'm just gonna cook it, and I might add a little bit of hot sauce in it, in the side of the quesadilla, just to give it a little kick, and I will show you guys when it's done. So instead of the hot sauce, I decided I'm going to put some of this Tostitos queso on it, and I just put a little bit, and then I'm going to add a little bit of marble cheese. And this is still cooking up, so it won't be long. Alright, so just to recap, while these are cooking, or coming along, I cooked that one chicken. It cost $7.88 for it. I made the chicken, the mac and cheese, and the veggies the first night. I ended up making that big thing of broth, which gave me, I think, a meal each, and then there was 3 big containers of leftovers for that. I made the soup, chicken and rice soup, so that gave me leftovers. I made club sandwiches and french fries one night, fajitas for supper one night, and Riley got leftovers for his lunch that day. I made fried rice for supper one night, and Riley got leftovers for his lunch that day. And tonight I am making the quesadillas for supper. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 meals, like different meals. And basically I had leftovers for the soup, I had leftovers fajitas, and leftover fried rice. Yeah, so I got 7 plus good meals out of that. 1 chicken, obviously counting the leftovers, there'd probably be 10 or 11, so I kind of did up the math, and it would have been less than 80 cents per chicken for each meal that we made, so I think that is pretty darn good. So that was pretty fun. So, like I said, I did this collab with my friend Cheryl over at Cheryl's Country Home. I will leave her link in the description. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, share it, let me know what you guys like to make when you make a chicken, and let me know how many meals you guys get out of it. So, that's going to be it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next vlog.